What is going on, everyone, and welcome to this video. So 0.50 stable has now been released for DayZ Standalone, and what I will be talking about in this video are the new towns that have been added along with this update, as well as a new military base. And I will be showing the locations for everything I will be showing you, so let's get into it and see what we have. Okay, so we'll be starting off with two new towns that have been added on the northwest side of the map, and you can see the markers there for them on the map. They're not too far away from Northwest Airfield, so we have Topolniki and Novaya Petrovka. So these towns are actually pretty big. What we will be doing in this video is something new, and I do want feedback from you guys on this, and I do hope you like it. What we'll be doing is going into bird's eye view with the help of Armor 3 and looking over these towns. So I think this is actually better for showing locations on this map, especially new locations, to kind of give you an idea of how big these towns are and what exactly is in them. So let's get in there and see what we got. So we will be starting off on the factory side, or the industrial side of Novaya Petrovka. We got the basic just industrial buildings over here, and then as we head further into town we will see a school. Across from that we do have a piano house as well, so those are probably the two spots you want to hit up if you're starting to loot this town from this side. And then further into town, towards the center of the town, we have a police station, which you can see right there. And then also next to that, just a little bit back, we have a church. So this is a pretty good sized town. Further down into it, there's actually some apartment buildings where it looks like you can set up some sniping spots from there as well. You can overlook the whole town from those apartment buildings. So pretty good spot right there for you snipers. As I was saying, this is a pretty good sized town, so you can expect to find a lot of loot if you're coming through this area. Topolniki, which is just next to it, is not as big. We'll be moving down the road from this town and heading over there. It's not that far at all. It's a pretty quick run from this town, and you will see it's a little bit smaller. I think there's only one piano house and only a few good houses for you to loot up there. So let's head on and see how that looks. So coming into this town from Novaya Petrovka, we start off with a market, which is always nice to see. I don't think we saw one back there in Novaya Petrovka, so it's nice to see one here. And then just a little bit behind that we have some garages to loot up, and also a construction building. And then as we head further into town, like I said, just a few more houses. This is a smaller town, and as I said as well, just one piano house in here for us to loot up. Still a pretty nice town, just a smaller town than Novaya Petrovka, but still pretty nice addition just next to it. And then moving on from that, we have Svergino. I'm not going to cover this city as much since I've already covered it in an experimental video. If you do want to go back and see that, I will have it linked down in the description. But Svergino is just a town west of Novo. Basically on your way into Severohrad, you will run into this town. It's a pretty good size. There is a police car and a few other good houses to loot up in this place. But if you do want to go back and see the video of me covering this in depth and going over everything in this town, including the dam at the beginning and the castle at the end, then I do recommend checking out the experimental video. But for now, let's move on and see what else we have in the 0.50 update. Alright, so next, let's look at Northeast Airfield, or Krasnostav Airfield, which is what they're calling it now after removing the control tower and replacing it with these two buildings right here. So as you can see, we have what looks like a warehouse and then maybe some kind of an office building right next to it. So this is what has replaced that air control tower, and as you can see there, Krasnostav is just above this airfield there on the hill. So this is what Northeast / Krasnostav Airfield looks like now. But let's keep going and look at some of the other new towns that we have on this update. Okay, next, moving on to something that's a little bit more interesting, we have a new mines area, or a cave area, that has been added up north of Severohrad, as well as the new military base, which we looked at in experimental, but has had some changes since the experimental updates. So there's the locations there for both of these areas. I know the military one might be a little bit hard to find your first time up there, but once you go up there, you'll get used to finding that new military base. So let's get into it and see what changes were made, and let's look at that new cave that's been added in. Alright, so taking that road north of Severohrad, you'll see this truck, and then a dirt road. This is where you want to take that turn, and then just up here is where you'll see the cave. It's kind of interesting looking, to be honest. I did go inside of it, and there isn't much at this point. I wonder if they're going to be adding anything to it in the future. I really didn't even know that this was coming in, so it's interesting to see it in the game now. But as I said, it will be interesting to see if they do add anything to it and what will happen with this cave, if it will stay like that or if anything will get added. If you're wondering, this is also just outside of that military base, so as you're coming up to that military base, I'm sure you'll stumble upon this on the way, and it will be interesting to see if anyone actually picks this as their camp, maybe to set a tent in there, but I'm sure it's probably not a good spot because a lot of people are going to be trying to check it out here in the next few days. Let's keep going and let's look at the new military base. So this is the military base north of Severohrad. When the developers added this into experimental, they said that they thought it looked kind of ugly and that changes would be made to it, and it might even be taken out, but it actually stayed, and we do have it on 0.50 stable. As you can see, some changes were made to it. So what I noticed is that the hangars were gone. There was 2 hangars where I'm looking right now, and both of them have been removed on stable, and also the location of the prison over here has been changed and basically just taken the closest to where the hangars were. So pretty interesting that they changed the location of that. There is still 1 barracks for us to loot up here, as well as some buildings up next to that. So still a pretty good base to come up here. There really isn't any military bases up on this side of the map anymore, so it's kind of nice to see that there's still at least 1 jailhouse or 1 prison and barracks left here for us to loot up. Okay, so to finish off, we're going to be looking at 2 small towns that have been added on the northeast side of the map, one just above Svergino and one more northeast of Severohrad. So we're going to be looking at Belaya Polana and then also Berezhki, which is, like I said, just on the coast there, northeast of Severohrad. So let's get into it and see what these towns have. Okay, so we're going to be starting off with Belaya Polana, and what we have here is a very small town. This is one of the smallest towns in this update, but it's still very nice. I think the way most of these towns are made, they look pretty damn nice. So I still like this town. It's just up north of Severohrad, and like I said, pretty small town. We do have some interesting stuff here. There is actually a well back there, and then also further up in town we have what looks like a destroyed V3S, which is kind of interesting because the V3S is going to be the first vehicle introduced into DayZ Standalone. The one they've been showing, leaking through Vine and stuff like that, doesn't look exactly like this one, but it's pretty similar. But yeah, I did find it pretty interesting that they have one of these here, and also in the next town that we're going to be looking at. And here we have Berezhki. So as I said, these 2 towns are probably the smallest ones introduced with this update, but this one is still kind of nice and does have some interesting things in it. So as I said in the last town, this one also has a destroyed truck in it, as you can see right there, just in the middle of the town, in between a few log houses. And then also what I thought was pretty interesting, I don't know if this is just new to me or everyone else, I don't think I've seen this building in any other place in DayZ Standalone, so unless someone else has seen it, I think this is a brand new building here in this little town. So that is going to be it for this video, and I did want to say a big thank you to all of you that have been showing a lot of support for these 0.50 experimental videos, for the status report videos, and now hopefully for this video. I really hope you enjoyed how this video was made, the bird's eye view. I hope you kind of enjoyed that whole idea and showing new locations on the map using this bird's eye view feature. So again, thank you so much for all the support. If you have enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button, and if you are new, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time.